Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Welcome to the Danza Project. This is the Trip to Orlando show, and I'm your host, Orlando. And like we do every single week, we bring you live content. Normally bring it to you on a Tuesday, but today is Wednesday. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Been a crazy week. We've had some wild interviews, got a lot of wild shit going on behind the scenes. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, work and it's the holidays. It is what it is. But still, dedicated to bringing you live weekly content. So right now, we rocking with a couple hundred views, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know what it is. I'm going to be here. I'm going to bring you the story of the week, the movie of the week, and, of course, the show of the week. And like we do every single week, before we get started, we got to hit you with that theme song. So let's do it.
Feeling the weight like a suitcase of stress. Time to pack it up and leave the mess.
Yeah.
Hop on a ride to a brighter glow.
Let's go.
Not just a trip, it's the ultimate show. Trip to Orlando, the getaway you need.
All right.
Laughs and reviews at lightning speed.
Come on.
Trip to Orlando where fun runs free.
All right.
Your ticket to the stars and celebrity.
Yeah, forgive me, I had the camera off for a second. I be hot, bro. So like, and it's live, so it is what it is. So sometimes I'm gonna slip up, but thank you for rocking with me. Like I said, this is the Danza Project. This is the Trip to Orlando show. I'm your host, Orlando. I bring you every single week, movie of the week, story of the week, and show of the week, plus my little thoughts on how we do shit. You know what I'm saying? But this week is a pretty wild week in particular because this particular week, the movie of the week, is the story of the week. Shout out to the one they call 50 Cent. Because there is no way in hell that we not for to talk about that damn Diddy documentary. Whole heap of revelations in that shit. So, first and foremost, I got to say shout out to 50 Cent, right? Because that particular documentary, I mean, and then we got the little clips and shit, so we might as well show it. Yeah, man, this particular documentary, right? I mean, he got the behind-the-scenes footage. He got everything organized. He got it all clipped up. It's really, really a vibe. And the wild shit to me is that Diddy might fuck around and win an Emmy for this shit because it's that good. You know what I'm saying? So I know for a fact that anybody who's seen this shit you were blown away like me. First thing you did, you log in and you see like, yo, this shit's 4 episodes. This nigga not playing. You know what I'm saying? He got 4 hours of content ready to go about the one named P. Diddy. So I'm saying. So it's well put together. I don't care what you say about it, which way you slice it. It's a well put together documentary. And I watched a bunch of the Diddy documentaries. You feel me? I watched all them TMZ bullshits. I watched all that stuff that be dropping on Tubi. All of that, you know what I'm saying? And by far, this is the best one. I don't know about the accuracy and all of that, but as far as just the way it's put together, the music selection, the storytelling, all of it, it's all put together very well. It's broken down into 4 episodes, and the 4 episodes are pretty relevant, and they cover the character of Diddy, you know what I'm saying? They really pretty much show how this dude Diddy be carrying on and how all of the allegations and the charges and whatnot are plausible. So I kind of feel it breaks down after a while, but at the same time, if you don't watch any other documentary about Diddy, watch this one. I mean, this is if that was the point that 50 was trying to get done, he definitely did it. This is the most comprehensive, easy to watch documentary on Diddy there is. Just point blank, period. And he's getting a lot of backlash. I'm going to get more into that a little bit later, but I don't know. I kind of feel like culturally we're at a place where that shit don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit Diddy did go on with was wild, right? But from a purely like entertainment point of view, there's a couple things I want to talk about, right? So the structure of the documentary is good, right? The four episodes. The first episode, hell yeah. By the way, Spoilers is coming. So if you ain't watch it, I don't know if you've been under a rock. I don't know if you ain't finished it or whatever, but I'm going to go into the whole shit. Why not? You know what I'm saying? It's been out for like a week and change. You might as well seen it. And if you ain't seen it, I watched it so you don't got to, right? But the 4 episodes. The first episode, who cares about the titles of them? They all got these little poetic titles or whatever. But the first episode is basically about Diddy and his upbringing and like up to the first CCNY charity basketball game that went left where the people died, right? So the first episode, the first hour is basically the rise of Diddy before he gets to, before he creates Bad Boy, but basically from his upbringing up to where he gets to Arista Records and he goes underneath his first mentor, Andre Harrell, right? And then the second episode to me is when the shit started to get wicked, right? Because the second episode basically explains how he went from Bad Boy, went from Arista, not Arista, oh shit, I'm getting ahead of myself. How he went from Uptown Records with Andre Harrell and then created Bad Boy with Arista under Clive Davis and so on and so forth, right? And that basically, they connect all the dots of Diddy potentially murdering Tupac and Biggie. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite episode. So shout out to episode 2 because episode 2 was fire, right? And again, I'm gonna break it down a little more about why it resonated with me, right? And then episode 3 is the making the band Diddy, you know what I'm saying? The J-Lo shit, the Cassie, all that wild stuff, the sex shit, all that crazy stuff is in episode 3. And then episode 4, to me, is kind of where it falls off the rails because it's really about the trial. And I'm going to give you my controversial take. I feel like episode 4 is to kind of discredit the allegations against him because it basically have the lady Capricorn and what am name? Lil Rod, right? And then some of the other people. That's when all the wild accusations come out. The crazy sex shit, all that stuff is in episode 4, and that's the one where I'm like, I don't know. And they even show some of the jurors or why they ruled the way they did in the verdict and whatnot. And to me, it's the one that shows the most I don't know, the most skepticism, right? The most confusing stuff, the most things that seem like they're not really all that plausible. All that shit comes in episode 4. But the first 3 episodes to me is super solid. And then on top of that, from a storytelling point of view, the way it works is that it's like a dual timeline, right? Where they have the crazy behind the scenes footage, right? Which is, let me see if we go back here a little bit. This is the stuff, yeah, all of this shit, you know what I'm saying? We got the Clive Davis in there because I'm going to get to Clive Davis in a little bit. But basically all this hotel footage, all that stuff where he's walking around and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? All that is kind of like a present day. And then all of the stuff leading up to it, the subjects of the first 3 episodes, those are kind of done like flashbacks. So it's like a dual timeline where he's counting down to the trial in real time with his behind the scenes footage, and then they're talking about his upbringing, his early days with Andre Harrell, then the Bad Boy stuff, then the Bad Boy scandals, and then when Diddy's a superstar with the making the band and all that wild shit, and then eventually his downfall with the Cassie lawsuit and all of the other lawsuits. So it's very, 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 very well put together. Very easy watch. You know what I'm saying? The way it works is that if you ain't seen it, you gonna watch it and be like, damn, episode 1 kind of fire, bro. Let me check out episode 2. And then by the time you watch episode 2, you be like, yo, I could probably do the 3rd episode right now. So you gonna knock it out quick because it's not like a long, fatiguing process. Like, it's just well put together, and then like a lot of it is never before seen footage. Even instead of just the behind the scenes stuff, there's footage from Tupac murder, from Biggie murder, shit like that, angles you ain't never seen, people you never heard of. So I really appreciate what was done with the documentary. Do I agree with it? I don't know. For the most part, I'll take it episode by episode, right? So episode 1 really deals with Puff's rise to fame, his upbringing, how he came up. I've watched a couple other documentaries, and most of those people that they've interviewed have been in other documentaries. And then also, sometimes I take the shit for granted, but we've interviewed a lot of these people, like here on the Danza Project. We were the first to interview Roger Bonds, and he broke down a lot of shit that actually came to light in the not only in the documentary, but just in public knowledge, right? And then we also end up interviewing Gene Deal. And Gene Deal was the first one who I ever heard say that Puffy slapped his mama. You know what I'm saying? He said Puffy backslap his old girl. And the nigga Gene Deal was like, bro, how the fuck could you do that shit? And he got there and he got real emotional. He real angry about this shit. Because he was like, that's basically like when, I'm paraphrasing, right? But he sat here on this fucking couch, this chair, and basically said like, yo, that's when I knew I couldn't really fuck with Puff. Because anybody that would treat their own mother like that, yo, that's a despicable human being. So I heard this nigga tell that story. So now, there's backlash saying it didn't happen like that, but that wasn't the first time I heard that story from that documentary. You feel me? So they talked about that in, I believe it's the second episode, but they set up the relationship, the dynamic between Puff and his mother in the first episode, and then essentially with the celebrity basketball game, with the tragic deaths of that he ain't really take accountability, and as a matter of fact, he low-key used it as a way to profit off of it, which is the same shit that he would do when Biggie died. You know what I'm saying? AKA, don't take accountability and find a way to profit off of it. So episode 1 establishes that pattern of behavior very well. And I really, really appreciate that. So then when we move to episode 2, when the allegations start getting wild, there's a level of credibility that's set up in the first episode where you'd be like, all right, let's see what you got. So the second episode to me is where the shit get real wicked, because again, they talk about Pac and essentially saying that Puffy and by default, Biggie had something to do with Pac shooting in Quad Studios. Again, I got a little bit of personal experience. I worked out of Quad for a while. They told me that they got security cameras there because of the Tupac shooting. Like, if you ever been in New York, Manhattan type shit, they building this different. Like, everything is on top of each other. So one studio is on top of another studio, is on top of another studio, and the only way to go up and down the studio is one elevator. And everybody got to get on and get off. So there is no intercom. There's a lady downstairs that let people up, but like, you don't really know what's going on in which room. So you just know that the door keeps going up. It keeps opening up to a new studio. So I very much see how a person can get ambushed, but at the same time, at Quad, then and now, you got to be buzzed up. So ain't nobody just running in that shit off the street. So you got to be buzzed up to come see someone. And like, it's a New York building, and New York buildings have doormen. They all do. And Quad Studios is no different. So that means you had to go into the shit, meet the doorman, talk to them, get buzzed up, get in the elevator, and go up there to go rob somebody. So, like, I'm telling you, I seen the shit with my own eyes. You can't, that's just not a sweet lick that you can just run up in there. So when they were saying that someone had to cooperate, there had to be some level of conspiracy for that robbery to happen, I totally understand that. And again, the first episode sets up Puff's character. So by the second episode, they're saying that, look, man, Puff is a jealous nigga, man. And when Puff sees something that he want to be like all the number one thing, meaning that like if they talked about how he met his first wife, Kim, that was Albie Shore's girl. And because he was so, I guess, jealous or envious of Albie Shore, he was like, yo, I want everything that he got, including his girl. So I want her, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, when he signed the artist, whenever he did something, he wanted to make sure that he was the number one guiding force. They kept saying this quote from the first episode where he was saying, Puff was saying that he learned from Andre Harrell, the artist ain't bigger than you bigger than the artist. You the label, you the one that make everything happen, so the artist is secondary to you. So you got to be the number one. So he took that mentality, and you just see it metastasize as he go on. So the issue with Pac was that with Pac and Big being friends, there was the jealousy of just him having that interaction with Biggie, meaning that like now Pac could actually influence Biggie on another level than what Diddy was doing. Like Diddy was his boss and quote unquote his friend, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't his peer. And no matter how many fucking matching Versace shirts or whatever they got, they're not on the same level. And one of the things they point out in the documentary was that Puff did look up to Death Row, but the biggest difference between Death Row and Bad Boy is that Death Row was paying them niggas. When Tupac was on, Tupac was a multi-millionaire. He had movies, he had all that shit, he had record deals, everything was going his way. And basically they were saying that anybody on Death Row was getting paid. Snoop was happy, Dre was happy, Pac was happy, everybody was happy. And the last thing that Diddy needed was a happy artist talking to Biggie, saying, hey man, you know, shit ain't really what it's supposed to be. Maybe you should be getting some more money. Because Diddy, they established it from episode 1. Diddy learned how to not pay artists from Andre Harrell. Andre Harrell made it very clear that we don't pay the artists, everything goes to the label, and then we take care of it from there. So from that point of view, Pac was an unhealthy influence on Biggie. Not only was he influential on the way that he interacted with the label, but he was also influential on the way that Biggie was looking at negotiations for his record deals, advances, so on and so forth. So the documentary starts off by painting the picture that, all right, let's see if Puff could come up with a way to drive a wedge in between Pac and Big. Because from Puff's point of view, he like, nigga, I got some matching Versace shirts for you. We're supposed to go shopping and all that wild shit that he liked to do, which I always thought was funny back in the 90s. But I was like, nigga, it's New York. Maybe they all grew up together. Come to find out, that was just like his boss. And he was like, hey, bro, imagine Danza come to me and be like, hey, bro, we got to wear matching shirts. Like that shit would be crazy as fuck, right? It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So episode 1 sets up the groundwork, and then they start the allegations of episode 2. So basically, they're like, hey, Diddy set that shit up, right? And then they go a little deeper, which is that, like, hey, man, that whole East Coast, West Coast shit, that wasn't really one coast versus another. It was one CEO versus another. That CEO being Suge and the other one being Diddy. And then they start to allude to some wild shit I never heard before. They're like, bro, this nigga Diddy ended up shooting Suge Man in New York. Like basically the bodyguard's bodyguard. And the reason why they all know each other because how small is the fucking world? Suge was a bodyguard for Andre Harrell and Uptown Records. So like, Suge even say in one of the parts of the interview, he's like, bro, I've been seeing artists get fucked for years. You know what I'm saying? I've been working for labels, doing security, doing bodyguards, driving all this shit, and everybody complain about their fucking contract. All of them. So he's like, if I ever ran a label, the first thing I would do is just pay the artist. It's that simple. They gonna be straight. They gonna love me. We gonna be a family. All I gotta do is pay them properly, right? And Puff was like, nah, fuck that. We don't do that shit over here. He said, take that. And basically, that shooting led to the beef between Suge and Diddy. Shout out to Danza. We got Danza in the building.
If you don't want the producer dancing all up in your videos.
All in the videos. Yeah. All that shit. Know. But you feel me, though? Like, in retrospect, that shit was more personal than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So the idea, or what they present in episode 2, which is by far my favorite episode, what they present in episode 2 is that Diddy hated Pac and Suge on multiple levels. Basically, he knew Suge from back in the day, and Suge's business model was fucking up his business model. And on top of that, Suge's artist was having, in his mind, a negative influence on his artist. So he was like, fuck it. The both of them got to go. Hence the Vegas shooting. So a lot of shit, and again, the point of view that I like to have from here, because here at the Danza Project, we meet some of these people. We talk to them. So when Vlad was here and he was talking about the whole Keefe D shit, There's nothing in the documentary that contradicts that. Right? So Vlad, we need to call him like District Attorney Vlad. You know what I'm saying? Because you see how he cooked your girl Gina, right? He had her on the stand, bro. This shit's wild, right? So Vlad does the same shit. Vlad's like, yo, I read your book. You got this proffer deal because they're trying to close this case. Basically, they had the shooter, and now they just need someone to corroborate it. And they offered you this deal to put all the pieces together. And then he recorded this whole confession where he broke it the fuck down, and they take all of that same shit and put it in episode 2 of the documentary, where basically Puff's father allegedly was some gangster in New York and ran with Nicky Barnes and them or whatever. So through Puff coming up throwing parties and having that legend of his father, he ended up linking up with an actual gangster by the name of Eric Von Zip. And Von Zip was cool with the Crips in L.A., and what he would do is they said that he had these vehicles that he would just drive over to L.A. that had stash boxes and all that shit. So basically you could get guns and all type of wild shit inside there. So basically Von Zip from New York is Diddy's plug to the L.A. gang culture, namely the Crips, right? So basically the documentary alludes that Puff was like, fuck it, we gonna drop $100 million to kill both Suge and Tupac. And this is all the shit that Keefe D says in his confession that he wrote in the book and that Vlad kind of confirmed. You can check out Vlad's interview and see all that shit, right? So the idea is that the famous video that we see of Tupac fighting Orlando Anderson at the Mike Tyson fight, which is literally Bloods versus Crips, that was instigated by Diddy because he had the plug through this dude named Von Zip. And that same night, they even go through it in episode 2 about the original plan to kill Tupac. They're supposed to go to a club, some other club, and on top of that, Diddy ain't fuck with Suge because Suge wanted to sign Craig Mack of all people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they were starting to Death Row East, the whole shit. So basically, there's a lot of different layers to this shit. But long story short, Keefe D admits that Puff hired him and Orlando Anderson for $100 million to kill Tupac and Suge Knight. And they say that Puff was like, first of all, you only killed Tupac, so you only getting half the money, right? And then on top of that, he was like, look, I'm gonna give the same nigga Eric Von Zip, the Cali plug, I'm gonna give him the 50 mil to take to you. And supposedly Eric Von Zip ran off with the fucking bag.
50 mil?
50 mil.
So it's supposed to be 100 mil?
100 mil. And
that's a good payday. 50 mil is a good payday.
I mean, yeah, but the shit's so wild. Like,
would you pay the whole amount?
If I pay for 2 and only got 1, you only get half.
Yeah,
you will only get half, right? But
maybe 75 though, because you took out the better option.
I mean, he low key got away with it, so it's worth whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
But not now. I mean, that man told that story in clear order, right? So after that, 50 so agreed. He found the clip of Puff rapping about the shit. You know what I'm saying? A whole clip talk about put 100 million on your head, da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? All these receipts. So again, if you don't watch no episode, watch episode 2. Episode 2 is the shit, right? Then episode 3 is the sex shit. You know what I'm saying?
The diddler.
The diddler. Like, so of all the weird niggas that been coming forward and saying all this shit, they found this one nigga who I ain't never heard before. And this nigga said some shit I ain't never heard before either. Because we've all heard the baby oil, the this, the that, all that shit is in there. But this nigga was like, bro, this nigga Puff is collecting my semen. Gallons of this shit for years. Right?
Gallons of semen is nuts.
That's
Pause.
Yeah. Right? So he's like, this nigga Puff has been collecting. And then one lady nigga was like, yo, why the fuck you keep collecting my nut, my nigga? That's just nasty, bro. And he was like, after that, Puff never did it again.
Dude's got kids out there.
Might be.
That he don't know about.
Might be starting the
Diddler
whole.
was just handing them out.
Starting the whole Diddy farm, bro. Like, shit's crazy, right?
Diddy is a weird dude. Did you see that 50 spoke on, first off, he said his favorite villain is the Diddler.
Yeah. I'm going to get to the 50 shit in a minute. Let me just finish the wrap up, right?
All right, yeah, go ahead.
So So episode 3 is the one that got the crazy shit. That's where they talk about Cassie and all that, whatever. But again, we heard it here first. Roger Bonds was here, and he was like, look, bro, it was the two of them fighting the fuck out of each other, right? You know what I'm saying? And then that actually became the narrative, and, episode 3 is basically about that. But where the shit kind of goes off the rails to me is episode 4. Episode 4 is the most suspect one to me of all, because it really delves deep into Lil Rodney and his story and shit. And I don't know, man. I don't really believe him like that. You know what I'm saying? And then they even had the chick Capricorn on there, and they had jurors talking about how they didn't believe her. So she's the one that gave the whole story about Kid Cudi and Cassie and how Puff kidnapped her and took her to Kid Cudi's house. And it just because by episode 4, I honestly feel like 50 or the director or whoever was trying to show like, look, this shit done got out the fuck out of hand. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when they had the Dawn allegations. The other girl from the Diddy Dirty Money group.
Aubrey?
Not Aubrey. Dawn Richards.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Dawn Richards, and then there's the other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
exactly, because he just had all the girls. Because they basically explained, they were like, yo, Puff is kind of over with rappers. He's tired of these niggas jumping ship. They're like, yo, 112 jump ship, Mace jump ship, Biggie's dead. All they gone. Like, so we just need to do pop music girl groups. And he just focused on the MTV, the band shit.
Yeah, and
so
sleeping with him and shit.
So after that, it's all girls.
Let me ask you this.
What's up?
Are the stories, if this Diddy thing comes up with no backstory, and people tell you what's going on right now, this you didn't get to see the years-long investigation. You're yet to see the Cassie video. You're yet to hear Cassie's testimony. And people tell you that Diddy's doing this. Would you believe them?
There's a myth, right? And I believe the myth because I haven't really seen anything, because I've worked at studios and shit, so I kind of know. So the myth is this, right? The myth is that if you dig deep enough in any music industry type thing, you're gonna find like a level of crime. It's gonna be drugs and shit like that, because that's really what funds the music industry. And they say the same thing about Hollywood. But with Hollywood, they're like, yo, if you dig a little deep, you're gonna find porn, because that's really what funds Hollywood. So if you understand those kind of dynamics, are you really surprised by anything? But like I was saying in the beginning, there's a lot of documentaries and bullshit about Diddy, but this is by far the most well put together. So if I was going to believe anything, it would be this, because there's the timelines. Like it starts at one timeline from when he grew up all the way, and it has a separate timeline of when he's counting down the trial.
So let's break it down from there then. Let me ask you the question from that.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is the first episode you've ever watched. You have yet to get, and it's tough, obviously you know everything else.
Right.
But try to clear your mind, and you're just the first thing you see about Diddy one day, you just wake up and there's this episode on. It's episode 3 of this. You mentioned that it's more like unbelievable shit, hard to believe them.
Right. That's by episode 4. By episode 4, it's off the rails.
Yeah, so like, would you even believe episode 1 happened if you didn't hear of all this other shit? I feel like when people say that, like this, it's so outrageous. I think the more and more shit that, because when I first heard about everything that was going on with Diddy, I was like, this is pretty fucking outrageous. This is bullshit. And then it's like more and more and more and more and more and more, and then video. More and more and video. And more, and oh, by the way, we got hundreds of videos, and we raided his house, and look at all this baby oil. And it's like, holy shit, believable. So, do you believe that it's really that outrageous, or could there possibly be truth to it?
I believe that the truth is so outrageous that people can make up whatever the fuck they want.
Okay.
Like, yeah, because that point that you're making is exactly the way I feel about episode 4. Because by like one sets the foundation, and there's so much shit corroborating it, right? And then 2 is like a theory, but very well put together, and nothing contradicts it. So 3 is wild, and then, like you said, there's a video, but 4 is off the fucking rails, bro. So like even the other girl from Dirty Money, she was saying that Dawn Richards who basically hit Puff with another sexual law. She's like, bro, I was in a group with you for years. I never seen none of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like now Diddy's all, but the thing about it is that keeps coming up is the motherfucker don't pay nobody. So that be the problem. So the girl's like, man, very similar to Roger Bonds. Hey, when I called you and I needed help for my child support case, you was nowhere to be found, but now you want me to stand up for you because Don saying you a predator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Roger Bonds kind of the same shit. Like, bro, I'm not even asking for me. I'm asking for my son. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for this.
Which he's not supposed to be fucking doing, by the way.
What do you mean?
He's not supposed to be giving them that money.
He's not supposed to be helping them?
Aren't you helping them by employing them? Like, I think it's that thing, right? Like, you look at somebody in their position and you're like, oh, well, they should be giving me money. I'm not saying he can't help, because the story goes back to Roger Bonds that initially Diddy did help, right? He helped initially to get I think it was the lawyer fees or whatever, and put a little bit of press on it, right? He put a press to get the press out for his son, and it was like, all right, that's it. I wash my hands. I'm through. I can forgive. You know what I mean? But I don't know if he's supposed to be giving them all money to help them out in all other scenarios. And that's where that jealousy and envy coming in. There's a little bit of back and forth. With
here's the thing. With Roger Bonds, I mean, he's a legit employee. But the chick from Dirty Money, she's an artist. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't getting anything fair as an artist is supposed to get. I don't care how shitty her deal was. And then on top of that, like, we had Gene Deal here. We had Roger. When I hear the type of money he was paying them, I was like, kind of ain't shit. You know what I'm saying?
But how many guys?
What do you mean, how many guys?
And I'm being the devil's advocate in a sense, but in reality, at the same time, I think about myself in business, right? Let's say I got you, and then you got 20 guys under you. We're running a podcast. We're doing a live event. There's you. There's 20 others. You're running the other 20, right? And then there's fucking number 18, right? Johnny number 18 is like, I'm not getting paid enough. I'm paying. But they're the 18th person after you. So we're thinking about security detail. How much security does this guy have that he's flying around with often? How much do these guys want to get paid?
Yeah,
right?
But it's not just about the security. I'm talking more from the artist point of view. Because, for instance, listen, man, if you in a group with Diddy, right?
Yeah.
The girl was crying about how she ain't have $5,000 to cover the lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And like,
but rappers cry all the time that they don't got money.
I feel you, but
you're supposed to give them in advance.
But the point I'm trying to make is that she was in the group with him, and then basically coming to him on a certain way. Not even 50 would do that. 50 will loan you the money, and then like make sure you pay it back.
Yeah,
but she was
gonna pop his shit.
Exactly. So she was saying that, like, look, man. Not only did you not do nothing for me when I asked you for it, but now you asking me for a fucking favor. So like, all that money and what's fair and all that, that's cool until you start asking for favors. That's why it's important to treat people well, so that way you never know what can happen. Because sometimes it ain't just about money, which is the problem that he was having. Sometimes you need people to vouch for you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You need people to stand up and say that your character is of a certain measure, and that you wouldn't do certain things. And that's why episode 4 is so crazy, because like his character is demolished. So anybody can say anything, no matter how unbelievable the shit is.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, you really have to consider that a lot of these artists blow their money almost immediately. They're given advances, right? Like, a lot of people, and you know this because we deal with this shit often.
Right.
We deal with a lot of hip hop egos. Right. And when they're signed to a label, they're like, oh, I'm entitled to all of this and all of that. You need to give me this money. When I look at a band like that, first off, I think he probably spent a lot more money than they ever made him in return. Okay? I don't think it came remotely close. I think he probably lost millions on them, right? And then now you got some girl that's sitting there, oh, well, I need more. In their contract, he probably way more than overextended himself. And now they're asking for money and they're judging. Think about it. We've dealt with people like that. They're trying to get money from us, and it's just like, you know what I mean? We deal with it. You know what it's like. I don't necessarily believe artists that are trying to slander his name because they're like, oh, he didn't help me out. I think that maybe at some point somebody had to stop giving you money.
Man, ain't enough money in the world to justify this nigga trying to fuck people and put shit in their baby oil and all that crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? So even though there may be a monetary issue and we could debate that, the shit Puff was doing was wild. You know what I'm saying? To the point that he couldn't maintain a functioning roster of artists, which is what episode 3 kind of basically goes into. And then by episode 4, it's wild as fuck. But the shit that's really throwing...
You keep saying wild as fuck.
Yeah, because
I'm like, I didn't watch it yet, but go ahead.
Yeah, episode 4 is basically all about Lil Rodney or whatever, and he's playing all these crazy Diddy voice notes.
Is Lil Rodney the one that woke up with his booty hurt?
Yeah, he even said this shit in the documentary. Yeah, I woke up with my thing hurting, and sometimes I wake up with Diddy next to me. And I was like...
When he said that, when they say on the articles that he was sore, are they saying that he's sore in the way that I'm thinking of?
Exactly the way you're thinking of, bro. He was like, oh, trauma, I don't feel like talking about it. And then, like, there was even an executive, the nigga who helped start this shit. They wait till episode 4. By episode 4, this nigga was like, hey, you know, Diddy was touching me too. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That shit don't make no sense, bro. So I get you, like, yeah, it's coming down to money, but like at this point, all gloves are off. Yeah. And it's not as one-sided as people think. And I don't think they're catching the nuance. That's why, like, people are going the fuck. That's the next shit I really want to talk about. Like, this whole backlash that 50's receiving from it. Like, to me, it don't make no damn sense.
50 loves it.
I mean, of course he loves it, but it really don't make... Like, Marlon Wayans is beefing with the nigga now. You know what I'm saying?
Marlon Wayans is behaving like a cuck.
You see me? Yo, he said that...
Am I tripping or you feel the same?
I feel exactly the same. Yeah. I'm like, why would you argue? Because, like, what is the point of shooting the messenger, bro? Like, what is the point? You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand, like, you're arguing on, like, a monetary point of view with artists and shit like that, and that makes sense, right? But, like, there's other people who are making the argument, like, oh, 50 trying to tear down another black man, you know what I'm saying? 50 got skeleton his own closet, it's the pot, calling the kettle black, and I'm like, all of that is bullshit. It's all stupid. It don't make no fucking sense. Like, why are you trying to kill the messenger? Because, you know they do the same shit to Trap Lord Ross, right?
What, like talking shit about him because he's revealing too much?
Yeah. He
does.
You seen his latest documentary?
Is this the YoungBoy one?
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've not watched one of his whatever it is, a documentary or whatever. I don't know. No hate. I don't got time for that shit. If I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
I feel you. I mean, but he's kind of making a similar point to your boy Charleston, bro. Like, we got to think about it, right?
If I told you NBA YoungBoy had 19 people killed, would you believe me? Right now, nobody has a bigger buzz in the rap game than YoungBoy. His Massa tour reportedly grossed over $70 million and is on track to be one of the top 10 earning rap tours in America.
So, you know what I'm saying? And they're calling him a hater. They're calling him a culture vulture. They call him all this shit. And the point is, what if this nigga really did kill 19 people? Like, are we really supposed to celebrate a serial killer, bro?
It ain't about celebrating it, right? Because, let's just say, all right, this is tough for me to take a stance against this, right? But
okay, let's hear it.
Well, let's keep it a buck.
All right.
If you're going that he's like some sort of a serial killer and shit like that, I'm not trying to fucking defend him.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case. First off, there's a lot of people that got like real beef in situations that transpire. Some shit goes down, whatever, right? You can't, that shit ain't none of my motherfucking business. Right. And that's how right now in my mind I'm looking at this shit because I don't know what it is. Sometimes I don't like even finding out, right? If it's a thing that he had all this beef with people and all these people got laid down, he's making a documentary revealing the information about it, that to me is like the lowest form of fucking ratting. Like you're just out there fucking being a journalist, going out of your way to give people up to be like, hey, why don't you go arrest this guy for doing this? I'll give you all 19 bodies. That's wild.
But his argument is like, look, man, from the beginning of his career, he started off saying he got 6 bodies. And then 6 turned to 7, and then 7 turned to 11, and 11 turned to 15, and 15 turned to 19. So his point is like, bro, we got a whole population that's listening to this shit and vibing to it. Is it cap or not? And then it comes to find out that some of this shit might be real. Then come to find out, damn, most of the shit might be real. Then to come to find out, probably all of this shit is real.
And you condone him doing this?
Well, my thing is this, right? If it's true, I don't condone none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I personally feel like, all right, if you're advocating killing people and profiting off of it and a menace on the fucking streets, I'm not going to support your music. And if it's true, I'm an old head. How the fuck am I really going to actually notice that shit is true in the first place without someone making a documentary?
Yeah, it's at some point you got to understand, like, this shit, and I don't want for the most part, I don't even want involvement with other people in the industry that are doing the same shit I'm doing, right? Like, we're in front of the camera, we're chopping it up with people. I got no hate, no shade to what they do. I'll never want to knock their platform or take away from their money or no shit like that, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna go ahead and give up my morals, okay? I understand that our platform, we have some sort of a claim on us. Oh, you like to interview rats, you interview Charleston White, you interview Woody, you know what I mean? Like, the narrative is there. Okay, cool. This type of shit is wild. I don't even want to watch it right now. I don't want to hear this shit. I don't want to hear some fucking dude from, I don't know where the fuck he's from. He seems like he's from like London or some shit, right?
My thing is, what is the difference?
You accept this shit. You approve this shit.
Hell yeah. Of course.
This fucking guy.
Listen, man. Listen.
So if it was me,
if
I was out there bodying people and somebody was making this documentary about me, you wouldn't feel a certain way?
First of all, if you was a serial killer, I wouldn't fuck with you.
You think he's a serial killer?
What do you call someone that has 19 bodies, bro?
Okay, is there beef?
Does it matter?
Does it? Does it not?
Does it matter? I mean,
if you got beef with people in the streets and you're involved and there's people trying to take you out and you take them back out, or you take them out before they take you out, right? Are you a serial killer?
Man, if I'm out here having active shootouts with ops on the street, I am a menace to society.
Might be a menace to society. I won't disagree with that.
And at my age, right, you know what I'm saying, I'm actually old enough to be like, look, man, how the fuck is that a role model for anybody? You know what I'm saying? So if Trap Lord Ross or 50 Cent or anybody else wants to make a documentary exposing what's really going on, let them fucking do it. And my thing about it is, the reason why that you can't let people just do whatever they want is because you end up with a situation like R. Kelly.
Yeah, but this is different.
It's
okay. So like, it sounds kind of fucked up, right? But I'm not trying to sound fucked up. But when you're talking about grape, all right, and PDF files, right? That's a completely different thing. These are people that are like helpless and defenseless. Now, when you're talking about beef of 2 people on the street and one of the people ended up losing that beef, let's just ask the chat that's watching right now. Let me get, if you believe that this documentary of him, of Trap Lord Ross, claiming that he knows the 19 bodies that YoungBoy caught is dry snitching, I want you to type 1 in the chat right now. If you think that this is needed because this guy is a serial killer and a menace, and you're okay with it, then type 2 in the chat right now.
Because my thing is this, right? Is 50 dry snitching? Or is Trap Lord Ross dry snitching? Because they both did documentaries exposing some fucked up shit about things about celebrities that people like. And the reason why I mentioned the R. Kelly thing is because you up there with me. So you remember when R. Kelly first sex tape dropped. Everybody went out.
Yeah. The P tape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody went out and bought it. People were selling this shit. People were this. People were that. It was on the internet. People were watching it. And come to find out, they were like, hey, man, you know that's a fucking child, right? And people are like, oh, shit. And niggas were going to jail. Shop owners were getting arrested for selling the tape, whatever. That's why you can't blindly just go along with celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Because they will be doing some fucked up shit and have their crowd or their audience involved, co-signing this shit without even knowing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like if somebody made a definitive documentary, it'd be like, yo, the nigga that sing the love songs, David, yeah, he really killed his girlfriend, and we really have footage and evidence of him freezing the body and putting in the trunk. Would that be snitching? Or would you just be like, yo, we're taking a menace off the street because he killed a little girl?
That, again, is different. I guess it's a case-by-case thing.
I got you.
Right? Like, it has to be case-by-case. Is 50 Cent's documentary technically dry snitching? Yeah, it is. And he doesn't give a fuck. Right?
I don't think you can snitch if you're over 30. If you're over 30, it ain't snitching. It's called being a good citizen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're too fucking old to be worried about that shit, bro. Like, I understand if you was a mob boss and that's what you do, or you come up in some crazy South American gang or whatever the fuck. Like, I get that, but man, nigga, if you have an Instagram, you know what I'm saying? If you pay taxes, if you do shit like that, bro, none of that shit applies to you. Who gives a fuck? And the people pointing the fingers at 50 and even Trap Lord Ross. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what you're saying. I'm sure he's an annoying person, right? Who? Trap Lord Ross.
I don't know him. I swear on everything, I really don't know much about him. So it sounds like, I don't want to sound like I'm hating. I just don't like this. I don't like it.
Listen,
I don't know anything else of him. I know he does this often. I don't like this. I don't like this NBA YoungBoy shit at all. And I'm the type of motherfucker that, like, when I don't like something, I just press mute. I don't watch it. I don't click on it. You could send it as many times. Like, right now, you just, like, poisoned my fucking mind.
Nah, man.
I didn't even know that this was actually a fucking, he has a full-length, like, 1090 Jake type video breakdown.
Bro. So
that's wild.
Is 1090 Jake a snitch?
I don't think 1090 Jake exposes this.
Listen, man. My daughter is 16. She listens to a lot of bullshit. She loves Playboy Cardi or whatever. Let me find out that Playboy Cardi's a fucking serial killer. Like, I'm gonna want to know this shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, I like to know what's influencing my children, what they're into.
Yeah, you watch a lot of this shit too, though.
What?
I would actually say that you're one of the people. Like, when we decided on it as the Danza Project crew, right, to finally let you get a mic, it was more or less like, this motherfucker knows his shit. When I was rapping and I would go to the studio, I'd pull up to the studio, I'd see you in there watching the podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you've always been somebody that has watched shit like this. I'm not. I don't even watch our own podcasts. You know what I'm saying? I watch yours, by the way. I do watch yours. Trip to Orlando is the shit. I like it.
Appreciate you.
But that, you ain't gonna catch me watching that shit.
Nah, I check that shit out, man. And the reason why is because I like finding patterns and all that type of wild shit. So, like, I'll put you onto some shit, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's a theory that Puffy learned all that crazy shit from Clive Davis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we spoken on shit like that.
Yeah, but I
don't think I don't think he learned it himself. I mean, it seems like he learned it from his mom too.
Yeah, that shit's wild too.
Take that.
Yeah, check this Clive Davis shit out, bro.
The menace he is known for today, his reputation might make you think he was born that way. But the truth is, monsters aren't born, they are made. Behind Diddy's disturbing behavior is the man
By
who
the way,
shaped
just a
him.
quick pause real
Industry
quick. I just
gatekeeper-
snatched the shit out of a fucking mosquito.
Yeah, I see
mid-air.
Yeah, he's like a fucking ninja, bro.
Yeah, fucking killed him. So go ahead.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, I'm a serial killer too now.
Clive Davis. This evil didn't start with Diddy. It began long before he was even involved in the industry. These industry gatekeepers are groomed before they're given the keys, a tradition passed down through generations within the music industry. If you think what Diddy did was horrendous, wait until you hear about the man who shaped him. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna forward a little bit. Fuck all this other shit. But basically, right, the setup for this is that they talk about it a little bit in the documentary, but they don't really go deep into it. He got fired from Uptown Records. Cause like, I mean, Diddy sound like an asshole from back then. He was basically living at Andre Harrell's house. Andre Harrell promoted him because he did well with Georgia C and Mary J. Blige. He was the VP of A&R, and he basically started feeling himself. And Andre Harrell was like, "Fuck all that, you out of here." So his work was still known within the music industry to the point where Clive Davis had gave him a shot by giving out his own imprint. And the theory is like, why would Clive Davis do this? Puffy was like 21 at the time, but the theory is that, look, man, Clive kind of wanted to make him feel like Lil Roddy, you know what I'm saying?
Of hip-hop and urged Clive to consider an investment in the genre through his endeavors. He told Davis that he wanted to make his own hip-hop label that would take hip-hop to mainstream levels and decided to play him some of the music his artist had recorded, playing him the song Flavor in Your Ear by Craig Mack and 3 unreleased Biggie songs. Despite all the reasons to turn the young Diddy down, Clive bought into his vision and struck a deal with him. Arista Records, through a collaboration with LaFace Records, provided Combs with an advance worth $1.5 million to fund the initial venture and granted him full creative control to launch his own label, Bad Boy Records, under Arista's umbrella. Just like that, when Diddy likely believed it was all over. Not only
this shit, like, just so you know, when you be playing this shit, the people that have access, like whoever's YouTube this is,
yeah,
it'll give them an alert, right?
Yeah.
And it'll say they're watching, and now they got an option to fucking strike you or to fucking let it ride.
Don't strike me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? From your channel, you sound like a Christian, bro. Like, you sound like you wouldn't do all that. So please, bro. We're just trying to spread your message. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Clive Davis is the devil. I feel you, bro.
only was he back in the game, but now he had his own record label. A record label that was destined to take over hip-hop and change it forever. This pivotal meeting was instrumental in shaping Diddy's career, yet allegations suggest a darker aspect to this encounter, transforming a positive milestone into a more sinister narrative. While Clive Davis gave Diddy the world and made him a hip-hop gatekeeper, it wasn't just because he believed in Diddy. This is the music industry we're talking about. There is always a sinister price for power and success. That's exactly what Diddy allegedly paid to make it to the top, and it changed him forever. For years now in the industry, there have been rumors about what really took place during this famous meeting between Diddy and Clive Davis. According to what the industry has said behind the scenes, there was way more than just music being shown to Clive Davis that day. The real reason Diddy walked out of Arista's office with a record deal was that he did a little something extra for Clive, with claims alleging Diddy got on his knees and tested Clive's mic. It was
Yeah. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. So basically, long story short, he said, Clive Davis is known bisexual, and Diddy was like his little
Damn.
Yeah.
What is going on? Why did I never know about this shit?
I'm telling you, man. That's
He's
why
out there mic testing too?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, they said Clive Davis is the OG of that shit, man. Like a humiliation type ritual to make you work for him and be loyal to him. And same shit. They're saying that Clive Davis has been in it from the mafia times, been with the payola scandals. He's the reason why they had the law. The nigga really been sued for this shit. He got fired from his first record label at CBS for that same shit.
Shout out to TRC275, right? Been real engaged in the chat. And for all the other people that are watching, tap in so we can see what your thoughts are too, because y'all be quiet as hell in there. But he said that Suge Knight discussed this on the PBD podcast.
Yes, there's a clip of that actually on the same shit right here.
It was even claimed that Diddy's alleged violations included using $54,000 of company funds for redecorating his own Manhattan apartment, another $20,000 for a bar mitzvah for his own son at the Plaza Hotel.
So what do you think,
with
bro?
another
What do you think is going on, to
$13,000
be honest with you? Like, are they just that rich that they're bored of, they're just like tired of the, I don't want to just have sex with women? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's the story from TLC. They said that they had to get out the contract by holding Clive Davis hostage. And they said when that happened, he was in a meeting with Puffy. They were like, they didn't know what Puffy was in there doing, but Puffy was in there. I think when it comes down to it is that...
Holy shit.
Yeah, right. Shit's wild, bro. I think when it comes down to it, it comes down to power and manipulation and a little bit of the humiliation ritual. Because really,
You think it's like some sinister ritual? And I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you think it's some sinister ritual, or they're just like, again, like they're just so rich and they're bored? Because there is that, it's almost like that do you believe in ghosts type shit. Right? I don't necessarily believe it's some sinister shit like that. I just think that these people are fucking gross, bored, old and rich for the most part. And they're like, this is what I like to do, and if you're gonna fucking have access to they've been enabled so much, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what you're gonna do if you want access to my money.
I think the money part is part of it, but I think it's, when you say they're so bored, I think they're so bored with like buying shit and having shit that it's like, now I want to see people do things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like hit him in the face and I'll give you $300 right now.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Because when you're speaking, right, about the sinister shit, like that's when the people start thinking conspiracies, they're giving up blood and for androgen to keep themselves young. You know how there's all these conspiracy theories out there?
Right.
I don't think we need to think about it in a conspiracy theory type of way, just more so like this Clive Davis guy looks kind of creepy, right? Diddy started looking pretty creepy. You know what I mean? He doesn't not have a creepy look on his face. They like doing freaky shit.
Yeah.
And they got so bored doing the freaky shit that they were able to do because they were rich. Because the richer you are, the freakier the shit you could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you got abundance, you got $1 million laying around and you go to the strip club and you decide to have yourself a time. You're probably gonna do a lot fucking freakier shit than you would with $1,000 in your pocket. You know what I mean? $1,000 in your pocket, you get the general access. You know what I mean? $1 million, you could bring whoever you want in a room. You could have as much fun as you want. Now that shit starts getting boring too. You know? The first time you have sex, right? It's just like, have sex, fantastic. The next time it's like, well, let's try this too. And let's try this too. And let's try, these people they got the world.
I mean, I think what it is with them, I mean, it's a little bit of what you're saying, but I think it's more to the point where they're like, look, man, I want to make sure that you're loyal to me. And the only way I can make sure that is if...
Take this.
Exactly. Is if I have some shit on you. Like, because think about it, right? Even down to Epstein or whatever. This motherfucker collects secrets on people. Because the whole point is, if I really want to manipulate you, I got to know some shit about you that money can't buy. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to make you do things in a way that I will forever look at you as beneath me. And I think it's a situation like that. Because it goes back to the quote that they kept saying in the documentary. Don't let the artist get bigger than you. You see what I'm saying? So the only way that you could do that is make sure you humiliate them, you keep them broke, you keep them in debt.
Psychological warfare.
Exactly. Because think about what they call that shit. They call it intellectual property. It's not tangible. You know what I'm saying? Music isn't real. It's not a physical object. It's nothing like that. So the only way that we can control music is by controlling the artist. And the only way you control the artist is by controlling their money and by controlling the way they feel about themselves.
Some creepy shit.
It definitely is.
It's definitely some creepy shit. I just think like there's a lot of it obviously that goes on. It's something that needs to be addressed. And I think this stuff is addressing it. Like, yo, just so you guys know, the era of you guys being sick as fuck and doing whatever you want is a wrap. Like, you guys can't do that shit anymore. But you gotta fucking find out who all these guys are. You take them out. Like the Jeffrey Epstein shit, right? Like this dude almost seems like he understood that most people have this level of greed. And he was going to use that against them, and he was going to put them all in situations that he could use against them for the rest of their lives.
And on top of that,
how the fuck did he get an island?
And on top of that, introduce the greedy motherfuckers to each other.
Yeah.
That's the other part. Like, there's a networking aspect of it, too. Like, there is a part that's not just all blackmail. It's like, hey, man, you like that nasty shit? Guess who like that nasty shit? I'm introducing you to him. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can do that nasty shit together.
Oh, the president?
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean?
Word. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all that shit is part of it. But the point I'm trying to make is that, bro,
We gonna take care of this. Go ahead, Tuck.
No doubt. Appreciate you. We can't shoot the messenger. Whether it's 50 Cent, whether it's Trap Lord Ross, or whoever, we live in an age where we need to have the information. Because you could have a motherfucker like Clive Davis pulling all the strings behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact, bro. And the only way that we gonna do that is like Danza was saying, we need to learn. We need to expose this shit. And the only way we're gonna expose it is we need to create an environment where we're not pointing the finger at people who do that shit. Some people are good at it. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent is in a position that he could put together this possibly Emmy award-winning documentary, and this shit for them gold. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with Trap Lord Ross, even though this nigga hate him. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? You make a good... I watched his King Von shit, all that, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate what the nigga do. Do I agree with it? I don't know. Would I vibe with it personally? Probably not. But I do appreciate what the man do. And we need it. We do fucking need it. Because if not, end up like back in the day, unknowingly watching sex tapes with kids on it because we worship a celebrity. Nah, man. None of them is infallible, bro. If they making mistakes, if they doing shit, how the Bible verse go, what's done in the dark will eventually come to the light. And we need to see it, is my point. All right, moving along. So yeah, that was the story and the movie of the week. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you don't know, research Clive Davis, boy. He nasty as all of them too, man. The shit don't start and end with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And try to point the finger at 50 or whoever else try to expose it. To me, it don't make no sense. It's not going to change the situation. If anything, it's just going to make it worse because now we don't really know who's with the fuckery. You feel me? All right, but we going to wrap this up with the show of the week. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you've been watching the show, you've been logging in, you know I've been rocking with it. And not going to lie to you, man, the internet has spoken. And for whatever, I mean, I shouldn't say for whatever reason, but I do got to say that this episode 7 seems to be the crowd favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really fucking with this shit. Episode 7 is hard, bro. Like, I mean, without giving a bunch of spoilers and shit, it probably has the most going on of the previous 6. So the first 4, like I said, a bunch of horror, jump scares, monsters, shit like that. Episode 5 was probably the weakest one. They start the espionage, setting up this confrontation in the sewer. And then 6 is like the aftermath of that, setting up the final confrontation, which technically happened in this episode, of the angry white police folk and the military at the black spot. And it was good. It was good. It was well put together. We did finally see the Native American who disappeared from episode 5. He's back. He ain't really explained or probably even seemed to notice that he dropped the fucking knife, but whatever. It is what it is. But the good thing is, like I said, we seen him again, and, you know, a lot of plot threads kind of paid off. They finally found one of the 13 pillars, which wasn't really accessible from the sewer. So now in retrospect, I'm thinking like, damn, was that whole sewer thing like literally just a trap from Pennywise to get everybody in the sewer? Because if that was the case, it worked. I don't know why they fell for it, but it damn sure worked. But this one is a little bit more thought out. They had to actually go dig and find the one pillar that they could find. And it gives like a whole Indiana Jones artifact feel. Like there's a lot of genre bending in this, right? So they had that vibe to it. Then of course the horror aspect of this black spot getting burnt down. And it starts off almost a la Sinners. That's the biggest comparison, where the white police are trying to get inside the black spot, and they're trying to get him to give up the fugitive who really set all this shit in motion. And they didn't. You know what I'm saying? They told them to go fuck off, pull out their guns, send them dudes packing, and they burned the whole shit down, and the shit burned for like 30 minutes. And I'm not going to get into which character, you know, didn't make it, but it was very emotional, you know what I'm saying? And apparently this show don't really give a fuck about kids because kids keep on getting high, kids keep on getting killed, and this episode is no different. But it was good. Not gonna lie. And it's kind of like, you know, my girl called that shit the penultimate, the show right before the last one, and it was that. It was a good penultimate episode. You kind of get the cliffhanger that the monster is about to finish up its cycle, go to sleep, go chill out. Things are going to be done, but no, they keep fucking with it and fucking with the pillars, and now we're gonna have one more episode of carnage when it really shouldn't be that. So like, it's a cool dynamic that they set up. And then they got the Stevie King deadlights that you see from the first couple iterations of it. Now, I guess it's just showing that shit to everybody. So, in retrospect, I would say episode 7 is pretty good. Not saying I lost faith in the season, but episode 7 is definitely a high point. The only thing I really didn't like about this episode is, again, the knife shit. Like, they built up this knife like it's this big weapon. It really looked like it's going to come into play the last episode. But, again, they could have used this shit when they was fighting the damn monster in the burning house, bro. Like, the chick was like, nah, I'm straight. I ain't going. And she just kept the shit at the house, and they all came back to her and was like, bro, where was you? You were sitting in your room playing with the fucking stick, and we could have used it. So, again, they built up this thing like it's this great weapon, and again, we did not see it get used. But that's a minor complaint, because other than that, the episode was good. It is what it is. Whew. But, I don't know. I'm going to check up with y'all next week. We're going to talk about the final episode and whatever the next movie is. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you got some ideas for movies or for TV shows, let me know. And if you got any cool stories or anything like that you want us to talk about, want me to talk about, send me the link. I got you, bro. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Danza. You know what I mean? Talk about the Diddy documentary, talk about 50, even talk about Trap Lord Ross and all that shit, man. Check out them documentaries, man. Watch them shits, man. They're all good. Get informed about who is entertaining you, because it could be a monster, bro. So we all need to know. A little bit of transparency never hurt nobody. You feel me? So with that, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for checking out Trip to Orlando show on the Danza Project. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, the new page, TRIP_2 Orlando. And also, of course, follow Danza Project. Do all that good shit, man. And you know I got to hit y'all with that theme song one more time before we ride out. And here it goes. Let's hear it.
Feeling the weight like a suitcase of stress.
Let's go.
Time to pack it up and leave the mess.
All right.
Hop on a ride to a brighter glow. It's not just a trip, it's the ultimate show. Trip to Orlando, the getaway you need.
All right.
Laughs and reviews at lightning speed. Trip to Orlando where fun runs free. Your ticket to the stars and celebrity.
All right, appreciate y'all.
Hey, listen up. If you enjoyed the trip to, could they see me?
Now they can see you. Yeah.
All right, listen, if you enjoyed the show, I need you to, because Orlando is killing it, but he don't like doing this part, and I'm going to do this part. I'm going to tell y'all, when you watch this show, if you rock with it, do us a favor. Share it. I could see the statistics, so I know there's people that have been sharing it out to other people, and they're clicking on it, and they're opening the link, and we appreciate the hell out of y'all. Share it at all times. Make sure you follow us on @trip_2 Orlando.
Yep.
So the number 2 Orlando. Trip TRIP_2 Orlando on IG. And then we'll give updates. You'll have the updates of when Orlando's going on. I know me personally, it's such a dope ass switch up to go from doing a podcast where it's guest to, like, I told y'all, this shit's out of the crib. Orlando has full access to the crib. So whenever he wants to jump out here, which is usually Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
But you had to switch it up this week to get out here on a Wednesday. But this is a dope ass show. And the best way that it works is if he gets involvement from y'all too, because while he's kicking shit, to see the fans come in there, leave a comment, talking, leaving ideas, that makes the conversation even run smoother. And you're doing it in the most difficult way possible, in my opinion, just dolo.
Oh,
like, you know what I
appreciate
mean?
it.
You're not like, when you're talking to somebody else, it's a little bit simpler because they could take some time off, they could talk, you know what I mean? Like if you got a guest. So it helps when y'all subscribe, you share, every little bit of that. Like, we're not asking for too much. I think that's kind of like the thing, that the way the world goes is like, I'm not liking that. You know what I mean? I don't need to like that. I don't need to share that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's like a lot to ask for at times, but shit, if you rock with it, this is something that Orlando's going to be taking further and further and further, and it would be greatly appreciated, all right, if you just right now can hit the subscribe button, like button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and this is, and then just go ahead and drop that theme song one more time on it.
Feeling the weight like a suitcase of stress. Time to pack it up and leave the nest. Hop on a ride to a brighter glow. Not just a trip, it's the ultimate show. Trip to Orlando, the getaway you need. Laughs and reviews at lightning speed. Trip to Orlando where fun runs free. Your ticket to the stars and celebrity.